Are we live?
You've got a great idea.
I think we are. Perfect, G's. Welcome back. Welcome back. What a beautiful time to be alive, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all doing well. Welcome back to the live day trading stream here. Episode number 22. It's an absolute pleasure to host you as always. This is day 4 of our current week. We have one more day to go tomorrow. We're going to deal with some news, a lot of news actually. We have to cover this. This is happening in around 25 minutes from now. So be aware, be patient. We have the news coming. We're going to inform you beforehand, and then we'll make a clean and proper and very formal decision from that moment onwards, okay? Let me see when we have it with us in the building here. Is the chat working? Yes, sir. Amazing. Game Stack, my friend. Good to see you. What's happening, brother? Welcome back. Good to see you today, my friend. We have Nadim, Abi Roop. What's happening, bro? Welcome back to the stream. Hope you're doing well. We're going to talk about a lot of things here. We're going to talk about Goldie, higher time frame, lower time frame, the footprint chart, the dollar, oil. We have the news coming. We are at major demand. We have also a lot of resistance here. So many things so many things are happening right now. We have to absolutely crush it today. Paul, good to see you. Ochola more, my man. Technique Limited. Welcome back, my man. John is back. Dominic. The OGs are here as well. I think we got it all sorted. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let's do a happy song today. I'm in a happy mood today. Okay. And if I'm not, I'll force a happy mood for all of us so we can continue the vibes as promised every single day on this stream. I hope you have a good working day so far. And if not, then let's make it a bit better. All right?
Tonight I'm gonna feel alive.
Perfect. Gory, gory.
Tonight I'm gonna feel alive. Tonight I'm gonna feel alive.
Yeah. Woohoo. I told you, it was just going to be a happy song today. We really needed that. What's happening, my G's? Welcome back to this channel. My name is Lorenzo, Corrado. If you don't know me here, I'm here for you 5 days a week, making sure that we are aware of the gold price, the futures, the spot. We have to go over everything here. So many things to discuss here. We have the news coming along in around 20 minutes. You know what it's going to mean, right? A lot of news, actually. So let's go over this real quick before we move forward. It's very important for us to take this in account right now. We have the PCE price index in around 20 minutes or something. Okay, super important stuff. Then the GDP, okay? Q4 GDP, not the preliminary release, no, the actual outcome of Q4. So this is gonna have a bit more impact than the other GDP events that we see throughout each month, okay? The GDP Q4 here, quarter over quarter, is coming out right now, also in combination with the initial jobless claim. So we have some stuff to deal with right now. We have some stuff to deal with here, as you can see. We start off with the PC, GDP, initial jobless claims, that it all come together. Let's give it a roughly speaking, what? 20 minutes or something? Okay, that gives us enough time to go over our breakdown right now. This time, today, I am not gonna trade before the news, okay? I think the move before already happened. So right now I'm waiting for the news to come out here, okay? So not in the trade currently at the moment here. I did took some buys at the bottom here, okay? Closed it, tried to short it. At the top here, actually closed the trade as well here. I didn't really see it continuing as where I wanted it to go, so I kind of closed the trade here. So now we are pulling back, okay? We're pulling back at this current moment, so we have to really pay attention to what's currently happening here. The dollar is finding some support, right? Oil right now is also holding up pretty well, actually. Oil is holding up pretty well. At this current moment, at least, we broke higher again, right? This is something that we have to think about. The yield is coming down a little bit. The bonds are actually also holding that support, and the euro is also not looking that particularly weak. So, you know, we definitely have to wait to see what the news does, so we can actually see that contrast between these different instruments, so we can get a really strong and good bias, okay? Now, before I go over the daily footprint chart on gold, which is super important, guys. You guys know it already. It's super important. All right, this was a very beautiful bottom here, as you guys could see already on the lower time frame, the 5 minute, and I show you an exact pattern in a second, which you can utilize to understand and figure out without the footprint chart how to trade these type of patterns, okay? We call that what the CERC pattern, and you can actually find that. Before I'm gonna explain further and actually show you an example, you can actually find that on your, or in, sorry, your trading war map, okay? Because you can download this book for free here. It has everything that we talked about. Trading is war. You can feel those words in your bones. The sentiment is the same. Men at war with each other. Victors and losers. The deeper you understand that trading is war, the more serious you become about mastering the game. How interesting is that? Okay. But what we're going to talk about today is the volume analysis, the volume profile, and specifically the fixed volume profile. Okay. So I assume that you already downloaded the book. And if you haven't downloaded the book yet, you can do this actually here, right here for free. You just simply go to the ltconcepts.io. You click on the link in the description, or someone in the chat will drop a exclamation mark ebook. And then you're going to get this right around there. You fill in your email and you can download your book as well. What we're going to talk about is the fixed volume profile on page number 47. Okay, 47. Super important. It is the consolidation, the expansion, the retracement, and then the continuation. So it also works the other way around, right? To the upside. So consolidation, expansion to the upside. And then, of course, a pullback, right? So let me write it down for you here. Oop. Consolidation, expansion, retracement, and then a continuation right here. And then we're going to find resistance. And now the question is, are we going to come down, right? Continue today? Or is this a higher low formation for the continuation? Okay, so let me show you exactly what I mean on the chart, what we saw today, and how we pulled back actually in that exact level here. So first of all, what we do is the following here, right? Let's just mark out gold on the 50-minute time frame, and what you guys can see here is, of course, a range. Okay, and this is a super important thing that I like to look at here. And I saw actually a video of my friend Andrea Chimi, where he actually explained this perfectly. When it's about the way people look at the markets, right? And some people look at the market from the standpoint of higher highs and higher lows. So they're constantly looking for the higher high and the higher low and the higher high and the higher low, right? That's kind of the standard way of looking at the market. And I thought it was such a good analogy to share. These higher highs and these higher lows right here. This is usually what people are looking at. But guess what? The market, guys, doesn't always work like that, okay? Because you can create higher highs, higher lows. You can take out the lows and you can continue to create higher highs. And then you drop and you create lower lows. And then you create a higher high, right? So it's the fractals. It's very hard to give you guys the understanding of, okay, this is the higher high and the higher low. Yeah, in what context? On what time frame? Right? All of this matters tremendously. So a really good way of actually looking at the market sometimes is to think more from a standpoint of balanced versus unbalanced, okay? So balanced versus unbalanced here. Let me know if this makes sense, guys. What do I mean with balanced? Balanced, I mean when the market is compressing, right? When the market's in a range or in an area of consolidation, it then results to an expansion, okay? This is the momentum, right? Whereas this is the consolidation. And it's always the idea of consolidation right here versus, right, momentum right there. And then consolidation right here. And now we're seeing potential momentum right there, right? So I really like the way of looking at this from this perspective. I think it helps tremendously with understanding what the market is actually doing. You can do this on any time frame as well, but this is something that we have been looking at. But taking this back to the book, okay, and this is going to help you explain the current situation with gold here, is the following. We mark out the fixed range volume profile, right? We just talked about this in the book right here. You can use this. You can download this. You can then look at this right here on page number 47. You then go to your trading view chart. You click on the fixed range volume profile right here. You mark out a range right there. And then you're going to get 3 key levels, okay? You're going to get the value area low, the value area high, and the point of control here. So if I ask you the question right now, in which level do you think we actually tapped into in or during the Asian and the London session? All right, let me know here, and then we move forward from there. I want to see this in the chat. Trader Academy says, yeah, I know that, but buys look so tempting. Yeah, it's a very interesting market right now. We'll actually go to all the price, actually the higher time frame here, because there are reasons to short, but there are also reasons to long, by the way. So there's kind of a duality going on, but we'll go over it here. But yes, you guys are correct. It's the value high, right? So if you mark out the fixed value high here, then you can actually see how that indeed caused the potential bottom right there, right? You could see that we came back to the value high, we respected the value high, and then we actually started to bounce from this here. So that is what we call a consolidation, an expansion, and then the retracement. And now we have the bounce here, okay? A quick continuation here. So this is where, you know, I'm looking for buys in that zone here, assuming that higher high, higher low, right, can hold in the short term, right? In the short term at least. So that is the overall idea of trading and utilizing the volume profile. And like I said, you can do this on any time frame, okay? There are a lot of ways you can draw this thing. It's very helpful. But that's the overall idea and thought process right now. So this is one of these layers. Now let's do a complete top-down analysis here. Before we go to the lower time frame, we look at the footprint, we wait for the news, and then we're gonna see if we're gonna short it, if we're gonna long it, if I'm just gonna be patient. Looking for very specific setups today, right here. This is something that we're looking for, okay? So number one, let's look into the daily time frame, because I think yesterday we were trading. I think I took like, well, 3 or 4 trades yesterday, scaling in, scaling out, trading the bottom or the short-term bounce, and then getting out of the trades, right? And I'm happy that I closed the trade at the time, because you saw what happened after that, right? Price continued to come down. So I think we managed to trade pretty well in that market condition. But we said one thing yesterday, and that is that we need to make sure that we close above the daily candle, above the 4740. And this is what we indeed did. So you could see here that we actually closed above a daily demand zone right around here. We also have that daily demand zone sitting right around there as well here. So we have these 2 higher time frame zones that you are currently seeing that are currently getting supported here, okay? But that's the higher time frame, right? The lower time frame is kind of showing something a little bit different here. So we just have to make sure that you guys are aware of that. We are also dealing with some resistance as well here. So you can see how both buyers and sellers are trying to really take control right now, and how it's pretty, in my opinion, equally distributed, okay? So my overall stance is relatively neutral here. So what I think is gonna happen, I think the news is gonna help us a lot with the volume and therefore also the logic behind a potential bounce or a potential rejection here. So this is why we're going to go over a couple other layers right now here. Like I said before, oil today has been relatively strong, holding up pretty well. And that's important to take in account. Okay, the dollar has some support here. It's not per definition really weak, like currently at least. We need to wait for the news in like 8 minutes, right? But you can definitely see that it's holding up pretty well here. And the 10-year yield is actually pushing right now. Okay, so this is why gold is facing already now the downside pressure here. You can see that gold is facing the downside pressure at this current moment here. So what is your current bias in the chat? Let me know. And then I will go over the actual footprint chart so we can actually look at all the orders that have been executed yesterday on the higher time frame. So you understand why we found that support and where we are potentially gonna find the resistance as well here, okay? Because we have support, we have resistance, we have both at this current moment here. The higher time frame on the candlestick chart is showing us that we are in support, but we also have that resistance. So we really have to be very patient today, in my opinion, and go to the lower time frames and really stick with what we have there and find the right scalps, the right scalping setups. In my opinion, more scalping orientated, not being too greedy, getting in, getting out of the trade just because of the fact that if price eventually makes a decision, we can always capitalize on this in the future, right? Once the momentum starts actually coming back again in the market here, okay? Tesa says, I'm looking for buys, but I'm waiting for the news. All right, nice, my friend. I see a lot of bullish. Will that gap on the dollar close today? I've been thinking of short since Asia. All right, that's also another layer that we can talk about here. Gold, all right. What do we expect after the news? Well, we'll see what will happen. Okay, we cannot control the outcome of the news. Okay, so we need to wait what will actually happen here. What we can do is we can mark out scenarios. Okay, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to mark out scenarios, and then these scenarios are going to help us with our trading. That's the idea. At least that's what I'm looking for. Okay, so we have the news indeed in around what? 7 minutes from now, right? Yeah, 7 minutes from now. So this is going to be super important. Okay, so anyways, let's go to the footprint chart. All right, these are the real orders in the market executed on gold. Okay, so you can see there are areas of red zones, highlighted red, and there are areas of green zones. Okay, and then there are gray zones or dark zones, which are zones of really low volume. Okay, so the highlighted zones have more volume. Okay, more trading volume. So these are automatically the most important zones to pay attention to here. Okay, so what happened? This is the 4-hour time frame. Okay, and yesterday, or actually, sorry, 2 days ago, we created a massive area with a lot of red right there. Okay, but what happened here? The actual 4-hour candle itself actually closed green. Okay, the 4-hour candle closed green, but there was a lot of red there. Do you see that? So that means that people were aggressively selling. A lot of people were selling there really, really hard, but the candle closed green. So what happened was these sellers right there, you probably already know what I'm going to tell you right now. If you are new, then it's maybe something completely new for you, but you will learn this over time on this stream. A lot of people pressed market sell here, more than people that pressed market buy. The candle shoot up. Guess what happened? These people were now stuck in their trade. Okay. Oh, there we go. Sorry for that, guys. There we go. All right, red box right here. Yeah, thank you. I don't expect you to zoom in here. Okay, that's gonna be better. Trust me, much better, much better. Okay, so again, 4-hour time frame right here. We have a red box, which is a lot of sellers that were actually trapped in the market right around this area right there. Okay, so what I do when I see that, I mark out this as an area of support. Because what I've noticed is that when you have a lot of trapped sellers compressed at a certain place, it usually acts as support. This also counts for trapped buyers as well here, okay? So when the candle closes green, but there are a lot of trapped sellers here, guess what happened? We held that support yesterday, okay? This is where we found the bottom yesterday, okay? And this is how we actually held above this today as well here. So this is why the most important zone right there on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, this is what I call real demand. Okay, because there is a lot of absorption taking place. A lot of sellers got stuck and trapped into their position. And right there, when we came back to that, price found its support. Okay, so we have that 4-hour support there that we simply cannot neglect at this current moment. Okay, I hope this makes sense so far. Now, if you go back to today, okay, and what you can actually see today, this is the line of today. This is where the day starts. You can actually see that right here in these two red zones, also a lot of sellers got trapped. Okay, so we also might find that support here. Okay, and that is going to be exactly in that range where we're consolidating during the Asia and the London session today. Okay, so if you anticipate the breakdown, I will be very careful, because right now we will find that support there at that current moment here, roughly speaking at the 4755. So I think that's like the 4730 on the gold CFD chart. Okay, so we will find that support there because of the fact that this 4-hour candle on the footprint just closed. We're now pulling back, and we're gonna tap into this box very, 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 very soon. All right, so this is very important to be and think about right now at the moment here. Okay, if we go to the 4-hour right here, then you guys can already see what I mean as well from a candlestick perspective. You know, we have been creating so far consistent higher highs and higher lows right now. Okay, that this is something that we have been seeing, and at the same time, when we had that consolidation here, right there, we broke out, and you could see how much resistance this was in the past, and how we're now kind of holding above that resistance here. Okay, so this is a major zone. We just looked at it from the footprint chart, and we know it's a major zone because these sellers got trapped. We are now at that zone. Okay, and now the 4-hour candle is pulling back a little bit. Okay, this is what we're seeing on the 4-hour time frame. Okay, so let's take this a bit lower, and let's now go to the 1-hour time frame. Let's take it a step by step, and I think this is a very unique way of looking at the market. I haven't seen many people using a multi-time frame footprint approach. Right, this is part of our gold kind of hybrid trading system here, and we're seeing a lot of selling right now. Right, a lot of sellers are coming in right now at the moment. What is that zone gonna be? This is the zone that we just talked about on the 4-hour time frame, right around there. That box, we're gonna tap into this very, very soon here. Where's that zone? Sitting right there. Oh, right. Where is it? Right there. No, not this one. Right there. So right there. That's that zone right here on the hourly. It's a bit more clear. We will find a reaction potentially very, very soon around this level here. So let's take this back to the candlestick chart right now. Let's go to the 15-minute time frame. Okay. And now let's pay attention to this range. Okay. This is the range where in this area you will see a lot of trapped sellers. A lot of people are trying to sell in that range here, and specifically around the 54. So we're going to do the same thing as we did on the bigger range where we utilized the volume profile. We're going to mark out the exact same thing now on this 15-minute range right here. And we're also going to use the volume profile here, okay? And I can already see a level right now that gives us a potential area at this current moment, which is the fixed value high. Okay, that's the 4750. Again, that's the exact same thing as we just talked about in our book, right? This is kind of what we're seeing right now happening right around here. So we have the range, we have the breakout, we're now looking for a pullback, and now the question is, are we gonna find support, and will the news today help us with this, right? So this is already for me now a very important moment to pay attention to at this current moment here. We are still a little bit overvalued. So what I want to see is price pulling back a little bit more and see if we can actually find that support right here. Yeah, and then we simply go from there. But it all depends on the news. We have around 15 seconds left. Pay close attention to what's going to happen here. Is it going to be really good data for the dollar? Is it going to be bad data for the dollar? And then the question, of course, will be, right, how does then, in that case, the dollar actually responds to this? And then we will have a bit more information about its initial reaction, at least, okay? And then we'll look at gold here, and we're going to take this on the 50-minute. That is where we look for our entries. Yeah, and then it's time to see what will happen, okay, around our areas. And yeah, is there a chance that we will indeed find that that support that we have been talking about right now? So we're going to figure this out very, very soon here. Let's look at the news real quick. Okay, it should be done right now. Let's give it a try. Boom. Oh my God. ladies and gentlemen. 0.5% GDP. All right, so that came slightly out worse for the dollar. The initial jobless claims, 219, slightly worse for the dollar. And the PCE price index came out exactly at 3% and 0.4%. So that is what you want to see right now. Higher time frame support, okay. Trapped sellers, a range, negative news from the dollar, okay. This is definitely something to pay attention to right now. Let me know what you guys think in the chat here. Is this analysis on point? What do you think about this? And if you have any questions, of course, just hit your boy up, okay? I'm here for you 5 days a week. And, you know, we're just here rocking and rolling the New York sessions with you guys here. Absolutely enjoying it. The growth has been absolutely freaking unreal, man. I'm super proud. We're going to be very close now to the 180K. And if you like this, this channel in general, the only thing I'm asking for you, because you see clearly that I have nothing here to promote right now, the only thing I'm asking for you is to just smash up that freaking like button right around there. And that will help me tremendously with growing the channel, okay? That's the only thing I'm asking for you, my friend. Smash up the like button here. And I'm going to ask you this multiple times on the stream, just to remind you in case you haven't done this yet, okay? I really, really appreciate that. Thanks a lot. Really, really nice, my friends. Good to be here, okay? So anyways, time to get back to work here. This is right now the current state of what we have been pretty much talking about right now. So I'm waiting for price to get at least back a bit lower. Yeah, and then the question is, are we gonna find that freaking support? That is the real question. Look at how quickly the 5 minute became undervalued against the dollar here, right? This is something that we have been seeing right now as well. So yeah, let's see if we can drop a bit lower here. I love this overall process right now. Very, very nice. We have the 1 hour right here. We're seeing a lot of sellers coming in. It's red, but price is not really pushing down, okay? And the 4 hour, we just talked about this. We are now back at that zone here. So we are very close to that support. And yeah, it seems that we will find some support already, right? We can actually see this already. This is already a pretty important zone right now. Let me actually look at what happened in the swing as well here. If we're reacting from a swing level, nothing too crazy yet. So I think that's it. I think that's what I want to do right now. I want to actually give this a shot, guys. And I'm going to set some buy limit here. Let me see what the overall risk to reward ratio is. Let me see if I can actually get there. We also have to talk about the target, right? Kind of the target here as well. What is the target? The hourly looks pretty clean. 36. Yeah, it's pretty good actually. It's not a bad risk to reward here. Okay, because the target, I didn't even talk about the target here, guys. If you go bullish today, then I had this daily level in mind, which is at the 4,790, okay? The 4,790. This is where sellers were aggressive yesterday. And this is going to be something around this high, okay? Somewhere in between the 4,790 and the 4,810. Okay, so we have, roughly speaking, this zone that we have to pay a lot of attention to. I'm going to just mark this out for you guys, so you guys kind of understand what I mean here. This is an area where we have to pay a lot of attention to right now. We're sitting currently on the 5 minute time frame. I know this is going to be an important zone. I'm not saying that we're not going to just tank or something. I'm just going to say that this is going to hold its resistance. And I know we will see a reaction there. This is why. So in case we drop lower, we have enough room to potentially test that level. Okay? That is something I'm looking at right now at the moment. At the same time, like the 4 hour, again, if you look at the 4 hour right now and then some negative news for the dollar as well here. Let's go back to it one more time. The 4 hour. You can actually see that we are just holding up the trend. We're holding up above the demand zone right now as well here, which is that support that we just talked about right there, that we broke and that we're retesting. And the volume profile for the range. So we have a lot of support there, guys. We do still have a lot of support there. So I don't really like to short into that at this current moment. And also with now the news coming along and the overall orders closing, I think we're in a pretty good spot here. I'm in a pretty good spot to buy. So I think that's what I'm willing to do today. And I've been profitable pretty much the whole week in one of the, yeah, you could say more tougher conditions as well last week. So I'm also gonna do this on the spot chart. Actually, let me see what level I need to look out for. Yeah, I think it's the 48. Yeah, the 48, the 49. Yeah, I'm gonna set a limit order here, guys. That's what I'm gonna do today. Okay, I'm gonna set a limit order at the pullback, roughly speaking, around the 49s. Okay. What is the difference between gold and this one? This is gold, but this is the gold futures chart. Okay, the difference is the price. I know a lot of people get confused, but this is the futures chart. The reason why is because we use the order flow, real order flow in the market for our analysis as well here, which helps us with understanding and identifying, you know, the best possible zones exactly on the spot, on the level. So that's why it's so easy for me to just use the futures chart or your futures broker, because it's just easier for me to just do it this way. But in general, the difference is pretty much the same. The candles are the same. The price is slightly different. Okay, so do take that in consideration here. All right, all that makes sense, my friend. Okay, so we have the you could say the 49.7 or the 50. You could say actually. I could put it a bit lower. 49, 47, 49.5. Right, something like that. And I think that's a good, I think we have a good foundation there now. I really think so. Really think so. So I'm going to take this to the 50-minute. And let's see if we can get there, man. Let's see if we can get there. That's, to me, personally, a good, like, risk-to-reward kind of setup. Okay? That's, to me, a good risk-to-reward setup, I think. Because if you come back down here and we react, it's worth for me to give this a shot. Because the target is somewhere up there. And, you know, the higher I like to trade, the less my risk to reward is. And also the bigger my risk will be, because my stop loss still needs to be somewhere lower, right? That's the difference. So, yeah, let's just give this a shot, geez. I think we can give it a try. I think this is an exact process. Something that we follow and that we make sure we look at right around here. Yes, sir. Okay, let's see what the chat is doing here. Sorry, guys, I was deep into my breakdown and my analysis and my trade plan. Let's give you guys a little sneak peek here. Let's see what's popping. What's going on? In your screen, the right side, what is that? This is what we call the action charts, all right? It's actually the order flow. The institutional order flow. You can see all the orders in the candle. All right, very, very powerful if you know how to use it correctly. It's part of what we call our my gold hybrid trading system. Yes, you need a couple tools for that. Okay, you need a couple. You need an indicator for that as well. But it's so worth it. It's so worth it. It looks extremely complicated when you look at this. But it's actually not. It is actually not complicated at all. You just need to follow the process and understand how this works. And then, you can utilize this as well. Here, the framework, the actual war map, helps you with the foundation. Okay, it helps you with the framework. It helps you with the volume profile. You know how to draw the volume profile. You know how to utilize these things here. But the actual trading system and strategy, is something that I discuss on the streams. Of course, service level. I cannot go too deep into everything right here. But I think you get the point, right? You get the point. Any questions? Let me know, my friends. Are we waiting? I am waiting. Yes, I'm waiting for an entry here. I am waiting for an entry. Keep in mind, and I keep saying this over and over again here, don't just base your whole analysis on me, because I'm here. I'm the Dutch Italian dude sitting here in front of the screen. Beautiful place, hanging out with you guys here. If you see me for the first time, just observe me, right? Don't really just jump in because I say so. I want you to think for yourself. I want you to make your own trading decisions. I want you to take your own, your own responsibility. Okay, that's the way it works in life. You need to take your own responsibility. That's the thing. You need to take control of your own life in order to get somewhere. Okay, so it's very important that you do so. And it counts for my losses, but it also counts for my wins as well here. Okay, if you win a trade, don't thank me, thank yourself. I don't need your thanks. Okay, you need to thank yourself because you understood the system, or at least the foundation of it. It aligned with your approach, your strategy. That's what matters. That's how you learn. Okay, that's how you get better. That's how you evolve here. I'm just here providing a platform for you guys. We can go back and forward. We can have a good conversation together, and you know, have fun together. I'm gonna be here anyways. Can you elaborate the difference between consolidation and manipulation? Yes, sir. Good question, my friend. Kalidab. I think that's your name. Kalida? Or Khalid, sorry. Bro. My English. You have the consolidation here. Expansion retrace with continuation. You have the consolidation, manipulation, and then the expansion, okay? These are different models. That all depends on your session bias, okay? You need a session bias right here, okay? So we do not determine the direction, all right? I hope this makes sense. With these patterns, they're not made to determine where price is gonna go next. They're gonna help you with your entries once you have what we call a session bias. So you need to figure out what your session bias is, and you do this by looking at the higher time frame to do like a top-down approach, by understanding what other instruments in the markets are doing. If you're trading gold, you need to understand what the dollar does, where we are. There are a lot of other ways to look at your bias, right? And from there, you can actually learn about the patterns. The patterns are for execution, okay? That's it. So now we have already a bias in mind, and now I'm looking for the execution. That's kind of the ideal here. What chart is on the right of your screen? That's the exit charts, my friend. All right. I'm afraid it won't come down. We'll see, man. We're not going to chase price here today. I mean, I've been chasing price all week. We've been chasing price all week, guys. If you have seen the trades this week on the stream, we've been literally chasing down the market the whole week. Today, we have news. We have a couple things here. A lot of interesting stuff has been happening. And yeah, it's a lot of things that we have to talk about right now. Okay. All right, we're already seeing the rejection, right? We're already kind of seeing a rejection here on the 5 minute. So, and also I think the 50 minute is still really like kind of overvalued as well here. So this is definitely not something I would long now. Definitely not interested in long in this. Either we come down here, we create something like this, we find new support, and we hopefully bounce there. And then we have another level below, okay? This is the red line right here. It's a point of control. But actually, this is the level I'm the most interested in right now, the 4749. And that's kind of the level I'm waiting for right now. The 4719 here. I think how big would this trade be actually? If it would play out in full. Okay. Let me actually set it up right here as well. 4749. Bit smaller. Cool. How do you tag someone? I don't know. I don't know. That's a good point. Tariq, is there a chance you don't make a trade today if it doesn't hit your buy limit? It depends what happens in this area, my friend. It depends what happens if we go up. Because this is also major resistance here, okay? We have some major higher time frame resistance there on the daily. This is that red zone, okay? Specifically, at this area right here. This is that box. It could be somewhere here. It could be a little bit higher. But we have a major zone there where a lot of sellers took place to control. So it all depends how price pretty much reacts around that zone right there. Okay. So that's what I'm saying today. I'm actually a little bit more neutral. Okay. Even though the overall intraday trend is bullish, we have found support. I don't want to short here, and I don't want to long there, right? So either we wait for a pull, I have to wait for a pullback, or price actually has to get there and then show weakness. Something like that. Is there a limitless Discord? Yes, we have a limitless Discord, but right now it's actually closed. So I'm just here with you guys. Just here with you guys, chilling. Why do we utilize the dollar? Well, if the dollar is pushing higher, right? What tends to happen on Goldie, guys? We talked about it so many times. Dollar bouncing from support. Okay, look at the dollar going up. If you're new, then this is a very good question. If the dollar goes up here, look at what happened to gold. Dollar started to push up aggressively. Gold started to drop quite aggressively as well here. The dollar started to range. Gold started to range. Dollar broke down. Gold broke out to the upside right here. So you see the correlation? This is why we look at the dollar as well here. And not just the dollar. We look at a couple of other instruments as well to get a real good understanding of the market. Okay, so we know that oil is very correlated to the dollar right now. Not as at this current moment, actually. There is some distant, there's a detachment happening, but overall oil is important to look at. We look at the 10-year yield, which is connected to the dollar, right? So we look at a couple of different assets and instruments in order to get an understanding of that exact sentiment, what's happening across all of these assets, and then we can get a really good understanding of gold, because there is definitely a connection between all of those instruments right there. So we don't have to go really deep, by the way. It's not that I do deep analysis on all of these different charts. It's just that I more look or less to simple lower time frame support and resistance, momentum, right? Strong, weak, all that stuff here, right? That is the idea. Shibin says, Lorenzo, my G, can you please teach on how to draw the fixed range volume profile correctly? There are a lot of different ways, my friend, to draw the profile. Okay, in the book itself, you can already see it. We have the weekly. Okay. You take the whole previous week. This is going to be very important. Okay. Because if you trade back into the previous weekly range, you can use that. You also have the daily, right? You can actually look at the previous day. And we always calculate it from 6 p.m. to 6 p.m., okay? 6 p.m. to 6 p.m. New York time. That's how you draw it. Then you have a full trading day. And then you can see how price is reacting in any of these levels here, okay? So this is very good if you trade back into yesterday's range. If you don't trade into yesterday's range and you aggressively push up, you can look at something called a swing profile. This is a momentum-based approach. This is what we tried yesterday, okay? Actually, we took a quick trade from it yesterday using this from the swing very high. Okay, we saw a quick reaction from it as well. That's another one. And then we have the fixed. And this is exactly what we just talked about, okay? This is actually what we're talking about right at this current moment. The fixed range breakout retest, right? So the fixed range breakout retest. How do you draw this? You go to forecasting. You go to volume based. You click on the fixed range volume profile. and then you click on this right there, right? The settings, 128 versus 70. Okay. 128 versus 70. Yes, sir. Calvin says, I really miss the Biden markets. Funny to say that, but I think everyone does at this current moment. It's the Wild West, my friends. If you are new to trading right now, you're trading in the Wild West. But the question is, can you still make money in these market conditions? You absolutely can. You absolutely can. You need to be patient. You need to have a system. You need to have a process. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Even good times, in bad times, everything will be fine. Yes. Okay, let's go back, baby. Let's come down. Show me what you got here. Show me what you got. Gold. Can we pull back? It's also the VWAP, by the way. It's also the session VWAP. I think it's somewhere. Something like the session VWAP here. Yeah. It is also the VWAP. Right there. It's also the volume weighted average price. Roughly speaking, same level. Close to it. Did you trade your stop tap today? Yeah, just really small. Got in, got out. Quick scalp. Nothing special, man. Nothing special. But yeah, I did actually. I haven't traded this account. I told you guys, right? I haven't traded on this account in probably like 2 months. I was like, oh yeah, right. I still have that. I still have 450k funding on Top Step. I'm like, bro, why didn't I trade this? That's what I'm saying. I need to use a copy trader. I need to learn how to do that. So I can take one trade and that's it. I don't like to trade on all these different platforms at the same time here. It loses. I lose focus. You know what I mean? I lose focus. That's kind of the issue. They need to find a way to solve that here. But yeah, probably copy trading or something. How do you manage trade risk in these market conditions? Well, it depends, right? If I'm in a range and the market is ranging, I actually take small positions and I slowly scale into the trade. So it kind of allows me to get in and slowly build up as a position, right? And the more confidence I build, the more I'll add to the position, pretty much, right? Sometimes when I see very clear setup, I don't go in low and scale in later. I just, do my thing. I just get in, boom. The regular amount of contracts, right? If we're really strongly momentum driven, I actually increase my risk as well. If we're in a range and the market is a bit choppy, which New York has been actually a lot, I just lower my risk a bit. So I'm very dynamic. Okay? Very dynamic with my risk at the moment here. And that actually helped me tremendously. Yosin says trade sinker is the best. Okay. Thanks for saying that, man. I appreciate that, bro. Nice. Yeah, we just look at the order flow, right? That's kind of the idea. If I want to scale in, I'll find my ways, my levels, my things like that here. Yeah. The valuation tool also has been so on point. So on point. It really helps tremendously with getting into setups here. But it needs to align with a level, right? That's the idea. It needs to align with a level. I can guarantee I can teach this system to people in a couple weeks. Couple weeks is that I need. Couple weeks of intensive work with that person, and boom, you can focus on that for a year. Non-stop, one system. In my opinion, my suggestion, one instrument. That's it. Don't try to deviate your focus too much, especially in market conditions like these here. Because I realized the more you deviate your focus in market conditions like these with Trump and everything, I think the more you distract yourself. So mastering that one instrument right now, one trading system with a clear process, and then just adjusting your risk when the market shifts a bit here and there, I think that can set a really, 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 really good foundation for yourself. Let me know how you guys have been doing so far this month. Let me know, let me know, let me know. Chris Investors, I know you can link several accounts from TopStep. Yeah, I know you can, right? This is the easy thing, right? On TopStep, you can actually do that. But you also have like an API, right? You also have like an API, so you can actually connect that. I heard, at least that's what I heard. Hey, I'm a CFD gold spot trader. Do you think the CFD price has similar movements? Pretty much identical, my friend. Yeah, pretty much identical to futures. The candles look the same, almost the same, like 99% the same. It's just the price is different. This is kind of what people get confused about, right? About the price, for example. It's actually not as bad. Okay. Trader Academy, this is going to be a CRC. Yes, my friend. Yes, my friend. But let's see if we can get there. And buyers are definitely trying right now to push price up here already. The hourly is going to close in 2 minutes. So to be really honest with you, okay, we might actually find support already earlier, which is roughly speaking around there. If we close above this, this doesn't look weak right now. It doesn't look weak. I can see it's definitely scalping day. Not being too greedy. Dollar is coming down as well a little bit. Dollar is starting to slow down here. Oil is also in resistance right now. The euro is also pushing right now, which is good for gold. So yeah, we might find support earlier. I have to wait for what happens with this closure. Yo, Trump is speaking right now. Is Trump actually speaking, guys? Is this actually happening? It's a bit early, no? Oh yeah, it's possible. It is possible. I'm not sure if it's true though. Anyways, if you look here at the 5 minute, there's definitely a lot of pressure still. But if you look on the higher time frame, you can actually see that we're holding that on the hourly, for example. We're actually are holding that respectively well, that level. I still think personally, this is the best level. Like still think that this is the best level. Somewhere around here, where we have where I have a limit order. I think if we can get there, that will be so good, man. That will be so good. If you don't get there, either a very aggressive, right, or wait for price to get there. But I want to see price dropping, coming down roughly to my entry there. Let's see, man. should we add another moderator in the chat? Thomas is on a Thomas is a moderator. But he is on holiday right now, so let me see. He is flying somewhere. Does Orderflow help? 100%, bro. Yeah, it definitely helps. It's if you know how to use it correctly, of course. Like some people think, oh, I'm gonna get Orderflow and then I'll become profitable. No, that's not how it works. It's your strategy, and then you can layer this on top of it. And then you can build something really nice out of it. Very, very good. Are you scared to trade when Trump is speaking? Depends. It depends on the setup. Am I scared to lose a trade here and there? No, not really. Not really. I mean, it's all about risk management, right? He's actually speaking here. Give me 1 second, G. Let me confirm this, by the way. Let me confirm this. Yeah, he is actually speaking right now, G's. He is. Is this live? Is this live? Let me actually see here. Let me figure this out. Give me 1 second, G's. We need to figure this out right now.
Policy, it's about changing the process. In other words, getting rid of the filibuster to get there.
So in order to get it, you're going to need Democrat votes. And what we're saying is the Save America, not the SAVE Act, which nobody knew what it was, the Save America Act, the Save America Act. And that's voter ID. We want voter ID. When a voter, we want to be able to see a picture of the voter. We want to be able to see that the voters.
Okay, I don't think. Let's see what happens here, because right now, I don't think it's about Iran or something like this, right? Not yet, at least. You will have to pay attention to this right now. So I'm gonna keep it on the sides here. I'm gonna put on the captions to see what he's saying. We're not gonna listen to it though the whole way through. I think that's not necessary. But yeah, be aware. Okay, be aware. Our favorite guy is speaking. He is speaking. Okay, he's speaking, and I'm not sure if this is live. If it's not live, then it's not live. I need to confirm this. It might not be even live, right? Let me see. Let's look at oil. Yeah, oil is spiking though. Oil is pushing for sure. Okay, well, regardless, I would have kept the trade anyways. Just so you know. I would have kept the trade. I would just be aware of it. Yeah. Definitely. Yo, geez. I appreciate you guys, man. That is incredible. And I have some awesome news for you guys to share at the end of this stream as well. It's gonna be epic. Really looking forward to something that I've been working on in the back end. Can't wait for that. It's gonna be work. This is gonna be good for the people that are very serious, very committed to this process and what we're building here. But yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate you guys. Legends. Episode number 22, man. It feels like yesterday. It feels like yesterday, but we're going hard right now. We're going hard right now. Anyways, dollar is dropping at the moment here. Gold is holding that support. It refuses to come down, and the reason why is because the sellers there got stuck in their position. Okay. And price closed above it, and then what happens? This will turn into support. So we might find that support here right now on the lower time frame. But if you look at the 5-minute, it's very, very messy, right? It's very messy overall here. Also, the 50-minute is holding that support right here. We are in lower time frame support right now. We definitely can see that. We definitely can see that. But I want to see the larger pullback. I feel very comfortable, or much more comfortable, around the previous range because of the risk to reward ratio as well. The target is then clear. I have much more room. I think this is pretty forced. If I would go long here, I would feel that I would be forcing a setup right there. You know what I mean? Lorenzo, why did you shift it to futures? Because of the order flow. Mainly because of that. But I still trade gold. Actually, only gold right now. Goldie. My favorite. Yeah, there we go. You see, we're holding that support here. Sometimes you can see a beautiful hold here, but you just... A couple things do not align with this, like your risk reward. Feels a bit chased. The 50-minute is very nice, though. If you can get there, that's exactly this blue line where I have my buy limit. That's also where the VWAP is. That's also the previous retracement of the range. That would be very good. But yeah, let's see if we can do that. The dollar can also find some support in the short term. Like I said, I've been trading the whole week. I don't know how many trades I've taken this week, but a lot. I've taken a lot of trades this week. Not just in the New York session, but also in the London, Asia. And yeah, really good actually. So I think that today is a day where I should not chase the market down too much. Where I should rather just be patient and set my buy limit. Yeah. Let's see what happens here. Where are you guys from? Let me know in the chat, my friends. Where are you guys from? I see a lot of you guys are from the USA. I have many European Gs now as well. Some Indians as well. Guys from India, Pakistan as well. I know that. Some from South Africa. Global, my friends. We're going global right now. Ooh, Romania. Holy, look at that. Bulgaria, Australia, Albania, Singapore. Love Singapore. Netherlands. Love the Netherlands. Romanian living in Italy. Bangladesh. Damn. You guys are amazing. Really. Really amazing. Have you guys been enjoying the format so far? The 5-day-a-week format. This is, by the way, the first time ever. The first time ever, okay, that I stream 5 days a week. Just so you know. The first time I stream 5 days a week. On this channel here with some major upgrades. Okay. Really thinking, how can I provide the most value to you guys? The most value. Keeping it entertained. Making sure that you guys are enjoying the actual session. Not just me sitting there, right? Doing nothing. Like just staring at my screen. No. You should see this as a radio. You know what I mean? You know when I'm entering. Macedonia, Afghanistan, South Africa, Germany. Damn. Yes, damn, that's amazing. Come on, Goldie, please come down, calm down. Do at least that. That would be very nice of you. Otherwise, I have to readjust my my approach here for this session, and that is waiting for price to get there. Yeah. We knew how important the zone was, though, so that's definitely the. We knew that these sellers there are stuck in their trade. I think for the new people, you will see this a lot on the stream if you come here a lot. Okay, we will take so many trades. You will see me taking so many trades from levels like these here, where the hourly candle closes above a bunch of trapped sellers, or where the hourly candle closes below a bunch of trapped buyers in the market. Not today though, but definitely it's gonna happen. You'll see this a lot. It's a very straightforward process. What's happening with the music? Yeah, listen, man, I'm there. Yeah, your boy did it. I'm gonna show it to you right now. Okay, we got it. We got 114 tracks. I'm gonna get this on Spotify ASAP. Okay, ASAP. I'm gonna get this on Spotify and I'm gonna share the playlist with you guys. The best tunes, if you like the beach vibes, the beach club. We're in Bali right now, the Bali beach vibes, okay? This is your playlist, man. This is gonna be the playlist for you. When you wanna listen to some music, when you wanna trade the New York session, the London session, you're gonna love this playlist, man. I guarantee you that. Guaranteed. All right, gold's pushing. My buy limit there, not sure if we're gonna get reached from this perspective today. At least not in this one, not in that level, but you never know, man. You never know. We are in that higher time frame zone again. We should be reacting somewhere around here again. Okay, somewhere around here. I love how we reacted from this level here. What's the highest point? 60? Okay. Or the lowest, sorry, 60. Yeah, same thing for this one, right? Oh, we'll see. I might move it a bit higher later. The undervaluation here actually did pay off again. Lorenzo, you live on Bali? Yes, sir. This is my place here in Bali, yeah? I will be going to Europe this summer. So you will see me on the road when I'm streaming as well. No matter where I'm gonna be here. I'm gonna be streaming here for you guys. Tell me about your trading process. Yeah, we have been going through a lot of streams. I think you can look back at some of the streams from yesterday, the day before. We took a couple trades there. Day before that, there are a lot of things there, okay? But I will sum it up here. I will always make sure that I'll have a full analysis for you regardless here. But yeah, like I said, if price doesn't come back down, I need to start thinking about a potential reaction here from the higher time frame. Okay, we talked about this daily level. We're not that far away now from our zone. Okay, higher time frame resistance, daily resistance actually. So we're not that far away. Peter says, I prefer the music from the nature than this music. You know, sometimes I have birds in my house. They fly in here. They literally fly in, okay? A lot of birds come into this house. They fly in. And they start making a bunch of noise here. So yeah, I also like the bird background music sometimes. Sometimes as well. All right, we're back at that resistance again. We're very close to that resistance right now here. I think this is where potential sellers could come in. I don't think we're far away. Okay. We have this zone. We also have some resistance right here. If you draw the fixed range here, you can actually see that it's a point of control. You see that? Pardon, sorry. This is actually point of control right here. You can actually see this range. And we mark out the volume profile the same way as we did here. You can actually see how it gets rejected there. You see that? So I'm also aware of that, by the way, that we also have this level before that major resistance, which is right there. Okay? This is why I don't feel like buying here, because even if price would, you know, or buying here, let's say, because we will have this level, we have that level. You know, this is why I wanted to buy lower and then look for the push. That will give me a much cleaner setup for today, right? Something like that here. This is already resistance. We're going to find resistance there too. So now it's all about what will happen here around this area, this level first. Will seller step in here? The hourly candle is bullish, clearly. The 4-hour candle is right here in the footprint is actually neutral. It's actually more neutral than not really bullish, not really bearish. The 1 hour is looking pretty good though. But yeah, this might be an area of resistance, to be honest, guys. So I'm gonna pay attention to the 15-minute and the lower time frame. We might actually pull back here. Wow, that would be a crazy short, by the way. But it will be risky. It will be a bit riskier. You know what I mean? But like, yeah, when do we close this 5-minute candle? In 1 minute. Imagine shorting that level right there. Low risk though, not too much risk in this candle because it's a counter trend, right? Actually trying this here just to give this a shot, depending on what happens here. The 50-minute as well is going to be very helpful. We know it's in resistance though. We know that, right? We can already see that we're in an area of resistance right here. Where's price? Right there, right? This is this area. And the hourly as well. Yeah, right here, right? Right there, yeah. Right there. Yeah, you see, we have a couple of levels still in resistance as well. That's why I would just not buy at the top. And not sell at the bottom here, geez. But this is potentially, I mean, it's a bit riskier. But there is a possibility for a, we're dealing with like an overvaluation on the 15-minute already for a while. The 5-minute as well here. Look at what happened every time we're overvalued right now. Let's just take this first. Over against the dollar, we drop. You see? Overvalued here. We drop a little bit. Here we were overvalued here. Look, we dropped. We dropped pretty hard, actually. Here we're overvalued here. We dropped. Here we're overvalued. We dropped. You see that? So every time we're overvalued, we tend to find short-term resistance. Doesn't necessarily mean the trend shifts, but like, you see that short-term resistance at least, right? This is why I like to use a valuation tool. It's an essential part for my entries. Also for scalps, okay? It's not an RSI. It's actually something that measured it against the dollar. And we know how important this is, so that's why we use this. It's very accurate. Actually more accurate than the RSI. Yeah, this is an important level, and at the same time, it's also the range. It's also the range here. So let's see how price behaves here. It's a bit riskier, I'm not gonna lie. It's a bit of a riskier setup. But you can see how that resistance is real. We are overvalued. We see on the 5-minute, sellers are coming in here. Let's see what buyers are trying to do now. And let's actually observe this on the lower time frame now, on the footprint chart, and commit to this and see what happens. Stick on a 5-minute. Because if I could short it, and let's say we would actually push down here. I mean, it gives at least some opportunity, right? Doesn't have to be crazy risk. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna observe this, guys. For now, buyers are still controlling. Delta is still very positive. Okay, that means there are a lot more buyers than sellers right now. 118 on the 5-minute. A lot more buyers than sellers here. So this is not a reason for me to short. Okay? We need to see some sort of exhaustion here. We need to see an exhaustion. We need to see a large buyer stepping in and the candle flips bearish, or we need to see sellers stepping in, right? Actually showcasing that buyers are losing that control here. And this is why we're just very patient, waiting to see how price reacts, not chasing it down. That's the only way I would be willing to take a quick scalp, to give it a try. Just give it a try. Why not? You can see it's like it's trying. That level is at 82.5, right? Yeah, 82.5. 82.5. We call that the point of control. The red line. Right there. Let's actually make this bigger. Boom. Okay. This is that major area where sellers got in. So this is where you hold that support. If you break this and close below the 75, okay? So we close below this, the 75. That will be bearish. That will be actually bearish confirmation after this rejection here. If we can close below this low, you see these trapped sellers? This is why we're holding that support there. If we can close below that, then I think there is a short-term scalping opportunity right now to the downside. But it's a bit riskier. Don't get me wrong, it is a bit riskier. Because the hourly is bullish, right? So that's why we have to be very, very cautious with our risk. I'm going to be very cautious with my risk. I'm not going to go crazy. But it's definitely worth a try for me. Because we have the value, the point of control of the range. We have an overvaluation. The dollar right now is finding some support here. The 10-year yield is pushing up. Oil is holding up. The euro also in resistance right there. So definitely from that perspective, everything is aligning. The confirmation is not there though yet, because the sellers are still in control. Buyers are still in control. But sellers are coming in here. I think I'm gonna try it just because I think it's worth a shot if you do that. Why not? Lorenzo, why is it that oil is going up and gold as well? Usually it didn't work like that. Yeah, like I said, there is a little bit of a shift happening with oil, okay, right now. So we just need to observe how that is. So until I know what's going on, I'm just focused more on the, I still look at oil, but I'm focused more on the dollar right now and the euro. No sells, yeah, definitely not. Because I'm waiting for that price to kind of show me that we can break below the 75s. That's also a beautiful confirmation, by the way. If you can actually break below that, it would be very good. Okay. Yeah, the 50-minute, a lot of buyers are trying, but they're failing right now. And the hourly is also in that resistance here. Yeah, man. We're getting somewhere, man. We are getting a bit closer. Gonna be very, very interesting, actually. Yo, Lorenzo, thank you for the emails. Really love them. Keep them coming. Yo, appreciate that, man. Hope you guys are reading my emails. I'm gonna keep you guys updated. Tomorrow I'm gonna send a very special email. Really looking forward to this. Yes, you see? Sellers are trying to push. This is that major level, man. That major level, that 75 level. With 2 minutes and 28 seconds for the closure. What I really hope, that this is what I'm always hoping for, right? Is that price closes right below it. That it doesn't tank, for example, right away. We're also having the 50-minute closure too. That's also another layer. And the 30-minute, by the way. But that's something I don't really look at. I look at the 15, the 5-minute, the hour, the 4-hour, the daily. My G, your link on Telegram doesn't work. I don't have a Telegram right now. So, you know, you can watch me on YouTube, my friend. You can watch me on YouTube. Or you can read my emails. Or my IG, of course. But I don't have like a public group right now or something like this. You see, it's still holding, right? Wow, look at that, guys. Look at how sellers are trying, but we're still respecting that level. Do you guys see? Let me know in the chat if you guys see how important it is to wait for that closure below the 75 here. And how a lot of traders would see this and they would get trapped right now. They would long it. They would short already early. And then they're like, now, you know, they're patiently waiting to see what happens, but they're already in their trade. And, you know, buyers are still there. They're still willing to participate. So yeah, I'm patiently waiting and sniping a short if you can get that closure below. 25 seconds as well here. If we close below this, right in like 20 seconds, you never know. I'll immediately get in. I don't hesitate. But I don't think we're gonna close below it. Not yet. Okay. Ooh. Ooh, damn. Sellers. More sellers are entering the market here. Damn, we're tapping into that zone again. We're now breaking it. The dollar is actually at support here. And we are on a 15-minute here. We don't have the top wick. Yeah, I'm very close to entering here, these. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. You know what? Let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens here. We tapped into the zone. Now it's clear resistance here. Sellers are trying. We have a new resistance area right there. I am not fully in yet with all my risk here, by the way. I need a closure below if I wanna scale. So if like price flips or something, I'm not gonna like really ruin it myself right now, right? But I do think it's worth giving it a shot, man. I think it's worth it. We're overvalued. We're seeing the resistance getting formed around the point of control right now. The dollar is finding some support here. The hourly is, is pretty strong. It's not weak, right? That's why I say it's a riskier trade. I would definitely not go full risk. The 50-minute though is looking better because these buyers right now are trapped. Green. We closed that candle below these buyers. So low risk. And if we break and close below, then I might enter it more. Let's see. My buy limit is still there. Okay, I still have my buy limit lower in case we drop down. Is it key to wait for the exit confirmation? Yeah, it depends how you manage your risk. If you can handle like really low risk, I think it's fine. And then later you can add on. But we did got the closure, the confirmation. We did close below these buyers. We have that zone here. We have a lot of sellers coming in. Now it's a question: are we going to follow through, or is the dollar going to try to push this? We really want to see the dollar flip, increase in strength. You can see how gold is kind of still struggling. But like I said, it's a riskier trade here. So we knew this in advance already. So it's fine. What would you target? Well, then I would target my buy limit, right? I assume that if we would just short it there, I would at least try to see what happens. Getting down towards these lows. Well, let's see, man. Let's see. We have a lot of trades this week, man. A lot of trades. In pretty crazy market conditions here, so... Like I said, if you manage your risk accordingly, nothing really to worry about. You can play around a little bit, try some things out. Ooh, that's actually still pretty large absorption, actually. Yeah, it's pretty obvious to me now. If we close below the 75s, is scale, man. Then I'm gonna double my. I'm gonna add a couple more contracts. Close below, adding contracts, short. That's what I like to do sometimes. Here as well. One contract. See how price develops. And then boom, the move comes, right? Later. You don't have to have it right away perfectly. You're not really stressing out. Especially in the market conditions like these. Okay. Where stop loss, we're gonna pay attention to these levels here. Also, that's another layer. When you have real low risk, you can kind of observe here. Okay. And I can get out at any moment and re-enter if I want to. Yeah, we knew it was going to be a risky trade. Would you scale in drawdown? That also depends. It always depends. I prefer not to, but it also depends. What level it is, what reaction we have. Like I don't exclude this, right? Oh, what happened with the mic? Okay. Lorenzo, is this your first loss of the week? Well, if I close this, yes. If I close this right now, then yes, of course. Yeah, the dollar is breaking down. That's what I don't want to see, man. I don't want to see the dollar closing, the closing. I might gonna cut it, man. To be honest, I might just gonna cut it and look for a new entry. We are now in our major zone. This zone is super key, super important. Counter trend trades always are gonna be riskier. We always know that counter trend trades are gonna be riskier regardless, right? This is why we're looking for longs. We had a chance around the point of control here to give this a shot. There were some reasons of why this might be interesting, but there's a major push here, so I need to cut it very soon. Maximum is 500 bucks, but the closure is in what, 5 minutes? Okay. Because we are in our zone here, so I just need to close it, keep a very close eye on this. No, bro, add more contracts, please. We are in our box. No, it's better for me to cut it and then look for the re-entry in our higher time frame resistance again, and do the same thing. Because now we're there. Now we are there. Now we are finally there. Titanic is coming. Don't, bro. If I lose a trade, this is the rule. If I lose a trade, I have to watch the Titanic with my girlfriend. You guys know the deal. We have been talking about this a lot here. I didn't have to do it any time this week. And my girlfriend is also a trader. I actually, you know that you remember, guys? Maybe the OGs remember. I said like, yo, I don't think that I want to have a girl that's also trading, like as my girlfriend. I'm like, I don't think it's gonna work really well. But bro, it's the best thing ever, man. It's the best thing ever. Why don't you stop loss? I don't, bro. I'm 2 contracts on micros in. That's like, you know, very low risk. People say, yeah, you always need to use stop loss. I agree. I actually do agree. But when it comes down to your risk and really low risk, sometimes you can give it some time to see how we glow. I have this major resistance in mind, right? So it's not that like I'm afraid that gold will now go to 5,000 or something. Unless news comes out. Okay, we're there. We are now there. Let's watch what happens. I'm gonna watch what happens here. This reminds me of like, yeah, one of those setups here right now. This actually looks nasty. If you look at it on 30 minute, not gonna lie. But I know we're at our major resistance, so this is what helps me tremendously with understanding, okay, we are there now. At least close to the larger resistance right now, so. Oh, what's happening? 1 second. Such a nasty breaker. Very tricky market overall. But what happened on my other account? I still have my limit order there, yeah? Okay. Yeah, that I need to cancel the buy limit now at least. I don't think it makes sense now to think about the buy limit. Looks super strong right now. Close to major resistance though, okay? So I'm just gonna observe it. This is the first time actually on the stream in like how long that we are actually in that drawdown here. So let's see how we can deal with this. Let's see how we can manage this. It's gonna happen at some point. Okay, so the 480605, we are almost there. 4805. That is that zone. That's a major level. I'm gonna mark this out as purple. Let's see how we can get out of this. Minimal. Yeah, Lorenzo, I've been watching you for 3 years. I can see these market conditions are different and ugly. Bro, I think the market conditions are actually really good. Yeah, like they're different. But I'm not really, like, to be honest, bro, I'm not gonna really blame the market conditions right now. To be honest. I think we're just dealing with a drawdown right now. And this is just part of the game sometimes, so it's nothing too crazy. I cannot say, oh, we've done so well in the last like 3 weeks, right? Been pretty decent, and then like start to worry about like a single trade, and then blame it on the market conditions, right? It's usually when we're in a trade and when I blame it on the market conditions when I'm in a trade, and the market is doing like this. Then I blame it on the market conditions, right? But now we're actually moving, so this is just momentum trading. So I can't really blame it now on that. Okay, we are resistance, so let's see what happens. Next zone. I think we're in our next level already. Damn, that went really freaking fast, by the way. Didn't expect the price to move to that level so freaking quickly here. But we're already there, man. We are already there. Wow. So interesting. Okay, we're there. We are actually there, geez. Probably the worst possible position at the moment. Luckily, if you risk less, you don't have to stress out. And now I can kind of see what happens here. But this is higher time frame resistance. This is the 4-hour resistance. This is also a key level, the very low. We are reacting there quite aggressively already. So I think it's actually a good trade. Again, it doesn't always have to be perfect to showcase what I can do here potentially and how we can manage it. Why do you close the trade? Because we're in a higher time for resistance right now. The sellers are coming in right now, so it will be super important to pay attention to what happens here now. Super important. 26. Yeah, look at that reaction, man. That could have been the entry, actually. That could have been your entry. Let's see where we close. Are you a swinger scalper? I'm usually actually day trading. We look for like a single setup. Today I told you I'm a bit more scalping with low risk. In this case, if it's counter trend, I trade low risk to avoid things like this. In the worst case scenario, if I'm kind of trading with the trend, of course, it's usually. I'm kind of waiting for the closure. And when I see clear structure, I might add on and then set the stop loss. Yeah, next level right now, the VIX very low. This was level 1, this is level 2, actually. Yeah, you see? A lot of selling coming in right now. From that higher time frame zone here on the 4-hour. And this is a major zone. Yeah. You knew you were going against the trend? Yeah, counter trend. There's nothing wrong with counter trend trading, by the way. People think it's like a bad thing. I don't think it necessarily is. Maybe this is not a perfect example, by the way, but nothing wrong with it. If you look for the pullbacks, trade the pullbacks. All right, next level. But if to be really honest, would I take in a trade if I would know that there was no higher time frame resistance here? I'm probably not taking the trade. It's just I feel kind of protected with the level like that. Oh, that's aggressive though. Damn. Damn. That's aggressive. The 81. Yeah, back at the point of control soon. I made that entry. Yeah, you see, there was the second level. We talked about this level here, but I couldn't really enter there aggressively right away. That would be really aggressive. Really aggressive. So I think I could have waited for that entry instead, in that zone, right? Maybe I was a bit too aggressive here. A bit too aggressive. Cool. Oh, this is a lot of selling right now, though. A lot of selling here. Damn. I'm gonna really pay attention to how this 15-minute candle closes. We have around 7 minutes for this 50-minute closure. Some people say cut it now, and but the thing is, like if you close with that much selling pressure here, and you close around this area or you close below it, that's very bearish. But of course, a lot can happen. The risk is now that a lot can happen in 7 minutes. That's kind of the risk. Right? That is the risk. The dollar is holding that support here on the 30-minute. Look at how it's flipping bullish. Or we clearly have support on the dollar here. So I'm not fully convinced here yet. Man. Just could have got a much better entry. Does the system work? Of course. Obviously. We have an amazing system here. A lot of you guys have been messaging me for the reason, right? So many messages in my DMs asking me about it. But yeah, we're gonna deal with situations like these too. Like this is the real shit. This is the real trading. We're just here to freaking learn and get better every day. And we're gonna make mistakes as well. My mistake was a bit too aggressive entry. Being too aggressive. That's it. The good part is very low risk. That's the good part. All right, 5 minutes for this 15-minute. So I hope we can close below these sellers. Okay, wow. Five minutes is close. 5 minutes is not super duper like super clear yet, but it's getting somewhere. Yeah, that level is so key. I agree it's gonna bounce at the point of control. Okay, if you say so, if you say so. It definitely could be. It's gonna be a cool session though. Let's see what happens in the next. It's gonna be very interesting right now. Regardless, because we are in a higher time frame zone. The dollar is finding support here. The euro is struggling. Look at the euro struggling. The 10-year yield is pushing aggressively up right now, which is not good for gold. The bond market should be coming down then. Yes, sir. Which is good for gold. Not good for gold. So I think we have what we want here. From like a correlation standpoint, the correlation check, that's okay right now. That's okay. Okay? Now it comes down to gold itself here. Where are we now with gold? Gold is in higher time frame zone. This would have been a great entry. In our zone, higher time frame, 4-hour daily resistance. Yeah, where do we close this? That's the question. Because if we close this one bullish, this candle bullish on the 15-minute, I have to cut the loss for sure. Because the last thing that you want is having all these sellers here unable to break price lower. Price closes bullish. Yeah, then I have to cut the trade. Then I have to cut the loss for sure. There is a limit to it. I cannot sit on my hands forever and do and wait and hope for the best. That's not how it works. You need to make a decision sometimes. Say, okay, if this happens, we cut it. So that closure for me is super key. If you close suddenly this candle bullish now on the 15-minute, then I have to cut it. Lorenzo, does the green or red bubbles coming from the market from the right are the more aggressive participants in the market? Yes, exactly. These are the aggressive market participants. So aggressive buying, aggressive selling, market action, or market buying, market selling. Usually the larger contracts. Okay. So this is also very interesting, right? There's a lot of buying here. Aggressive buying in our previous 15-minute candle. Right here. There was a lot of buying, but price was not following through, right? There's not a lot of follow through here. Okay? So that's super important. Look, the 5 minutes turning already bearish. So this closure will be so key for us. So important. For me, it will be very important to see how this closes here. Because if we close below or around here, it's okay. If we close above it and we suddenly flip bullish out of nowhere, yeah, then I have to cut it. Because this is going to just be absorbed and then turned into support. And then, yeah, it will take much longer. So yeah, I have definitely an exit in mind in case things go as planned. Things don't go as planned. Sorry. But for now, dollar strong. Okay, we closed there. Okay. Okay. Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Because this closure is very key, actually. You know what? I'm gonna look at the 30 minute. I want to know what the 30 minute is doing right now because let's see if I can get some clarity out of the 30 minute today. I don't usually utilize the 30 minute. 40, right? Yeah, a lot of buying here. A lot of sellers actually entered above it. So I could just simply put the stop loss above the highs now, this time. And just take that 500 loss, which is actually not much. But like, it's worth... because we have that zone of... We have that 30-minute zone here. This is where the sellers came in here. If sellers really want to protect that zone, then that's the level they're going to protect. Yeah, I'm definitely going to do that. Definitely going to do that. Okay, that's that gives me a bit more clarity. 4806.5. So it's still a bit higher. Yeah, right there. Sorry. Why do I do that? Buy stops. There we go. I do have a stop loss set now. What is the name of this indicator? You show that shows the volume. This is called the Xau chart, my friend. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna go through stages like these as well, where I get into drawdown and I lose a trade sometimes as well. Sometimes I'm gonna get into the worst trades as well here. So yeah, say what you want to say. It's very important that we see both sides. It's not always perfect. But I do like how we're 50-minute closed. I like where the 30-minute is at. So I'm still definitely... I know where to put my stop loss very clearly right now. And I think if we can get there again, then yeah, then I'd rather be out of the trade and we pretty much just let the market do its thing and then observe, right? Same thing happened when I was buying at the bottom here. Same thing. Just playing it, seeing how the market would play out, how it would observe, and then go from there. There we go. Give me a chill sound right now. Let me chill out here. That's a part of trading for sure. You better close. I have a stop loss already. My stop loss is at 4866. I think it's roughly speaking 2 contracts around 31 points, so $600. So I think it's fine. Nothing too crazy. We made this already beforehand. But yeah, this is just the nasty trap scenario here. I was a bit too aggressive here. That's my honest opinion. I think I was a bit too aggressive there. That closure below would have been perfect. That closure below that level, below the 75, that would have been the good confirmation, or wait for the price to tap into the zone on the higher time frame, then wait for that reaction. So these are like the two scenarios. So I'll definitely take this in consideration. So what I do when I lose a trade, I pretty much go over the trade, and then I always find a way, and I'll pretty much, in most cases, I can find like a good reason of like, what did I do wrong? Why did I do it wrong? How did I manage the trade? What could have I done better? I write it down. And then at some point, I can put everything in AI. All my losses, I can put it in AI, for example. And then I let AI do its thing. And then it tells me, hey, every time when this happened, you tend to do that. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that. So you can summarize all of this and then put it in AI, and it gives you the answer of like, hey. And I'm like, yeah, you're right, man. That's the reason. That is the freaking reason. So you don't have to analyze it yourself. Someone can do it for you. That's super helpful. Yeah. So let's see what happens. We know how important this level is. I have my stop loss purposely set at this high, not above the highs, right above there. If this would flip bearish though on the 15-minute, that would be really crazy actually. That would be really solid. This is strong resistance, can reverse back down to the 4741. Yeah, I agree. This is initially what I was thinking about too. This area here. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm not joking actually. I'm just gonna give it a try. I'm not joking. I'm just gonna see this because I see the lower time frame right here in that zone. I'm gonna give this a shot as well on this account. I'm not joking here. A bit higher, and I'm gonna put my stop loss right at that level here. 6.6. Yeah, let's see what happens, man. Small risk. Pretty much my P&L off on this account today, which is nothing too big either. But yeah, let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Because I know this level is important. We know it's important. I know it's important. It's definitely worth another try. Stop loss is clear as well. So right? Yeah. Where did I enter, roughly speaking? 75's right. Yeah. The 4 hour is starting to look... yeah, 75's pretty much. 75, you have the 65 as well. It's definitely struggling, man. A lot of action this week, guys. Wow. Taking so many trades this week. Also on stream, actually. A lot of action this week. Why is stop loss there? Pretty much above the... There is a reaction that I'm looking at the 30-minute. So I don't really want to get higher than that right now in the short term. Then I'd rather wait, see how price develops, get in again later with another confirmation or something like that. But yeah, something like that. But a lot of sellers are entering right now, man. It's definitely happening here. Buyers are trying, sellers are trying, but buyers are still, in my opinion right now, in control. It's not that buyers are gone here. All right, they're still active. You can definitely see this right now. This closure will be very important on the 50-minute again. Every closure will be key, of course, but it always depends where we close, right? Where are the buyers, where are the sellers, and then where do we close the candle? Is it below the sellers? This is kind of how you can spot who's in control here. Close this trade? No chance, man. No chance. Not manually. I have my stop loss there. If you don't know, if you're afraid of losing a trade and your stop loss getting hit and closing early, you know how many times in the past, bro? This is from my personal experience. How many times in the past I closed the trade early and then it went and it played out, for example, right? So I don't really like to think from that perspective. I need to cut it, because there were so many times where I did that in the past and where price eventually played out as well. So I rather have strict rules of it. If you break this level now, then I get out and I get hit. My stop loss gets hit, for example. Or I break even here, or whatever, right? There are some rules that I kind of implemented there. I rather actually see my stop loss getting hit and then, okay, I'm wrong. Okay, next. What do I do now? Right? Something like that. And buyers are back. Still a lot of strength though, like it's still holding up. A lot of sellers, but price is not really moving down, right? So this is what I'm saying, buyers are still active, for sure. We need to see them losing their momentum. Either the volume needs to come down, they need to lose their momentum here. Still holding. So interesting to watch this though, right? I'm always like, I love watching the order flow. It's so amazing. I learn so much. Like I've always been learning so much from it. Now I can just by watching and observing how the candles move up and down, right? These sticks. But now it like the when I started to use order flow like a while ago, it really started to be amazing as well from that perspective. Okay, we did close above it. So this is probably gonna push higher, to be honest. Right now, looking at what I can see here, we closed above these sellers again. On the 50-minute, that's actually not what you want to see, to be honest. You want to see that closure below it, right? You want to see the next candle closing below the 86, for example. There's definitely a chance I'm going to get hit. And then it will dump afterwards. Where should take profit? Speaking there around the 55s. That's the level where I initially was looking for entries from. The 48s and the 55s. Right there. That would be so crazy, man. But so nice as well. If it would actually do something. Time to step away? No need. Everything is out. Everything is already clear. Everything is already clear to me. I'm not gonna make any changes. You know what I mean? Can we actually break down? Okay. What is your risk total? Around $1,000. Well, this is on the funded account, right? So it's, yeah, total around 1,000. Yeah, next closure is in 2 minutes. Okay. Yeah, so what I did pretty much was like I waited for price to develop here a little bit with low risk, to develop a little bit, and to see where I could put my stop loss now after reaching the next level. That's why I waited with my stop loss, because I needed to know where it should be. So I'm not, you know, getting stuck for no reason or getting stopped out for no reason. It had to be a good reason to be stopped out, you know? Had to be a good reason for it. 225 to 24. So this will be break even right now. If I would exit both right now, in theory, it'd actually be break even. Okay, but this close is super key. On the 5 minute again, okay? Okay. 258, 208, right? Slightly more contract, contract more on this one than on this one. Yeah, let's see how it plays out. Be right back, G's. Give me one moment. Yeah, let's see if this can flip right now. That would be very good. Obviously, the 5-minute closure, you want to see it below the 86, like we talked about already. But actually, the 50-minute closure is even more important, right? Below the 86. Because if that happens, then I feel very confident that we can actually rock it. Okay, yes, drawdown here, but then a profit there. And then I would feel, yeah, pretty good actually. Okay, otherwise, I have $1,000 risk in total, which is not the end of the world either. But obviously, we prefer to play it out here today. Yo, Tommy, what's happening, my G? Hope you do well. How you doing, my friend? Nice, good to see you, bro. I wish you an amazing holiday, my friend. Yeah. Come on, baby. Break at least the 86. Don't play with us here. Come on. Yeah, it's holding. It seems that there is still the demand. Especially this level right here, the 89. Tell me about the higher time for resistance. Yeah, it's the 4 hour right here. Sellers are starting to pile in right now. The new hourly candle as well as face some resistance here, but it's definitely not that the buyers are gone here. Like I said before, it's just pure management. Trying to see what we can do. But the stop loss is very, very clear. If you get up there, I'll take it. Right now, it seems that still buyers are still actually rocking it, to be really honest with you. Because you see a lot of selling. Buyers closed above it here. This next candle seems to be closing above, but you never know what happens in 4 minutes. It's very messy. Very messy here. What's the chat saying? Let me see what the chat is doing here. Have you guys haven't seen some drawdown before? Huh? Never seen drawdown before? Bro. Welcome to trading, my friends. Welcome to trading. Welcome to the real game. Welcome to the big boy league. Okay? Welcome back. Yeah. Okay. Let's hear it closest, man. Super important. Bam, bam, bam. If we close below the 86, like I said before, with a 15-minute candle, I would be very, very pleased. Very, 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 very pleased. Below the 86, where are we now? We are now at the 90, so the 86. Yeah, pretty much below this zone. That's the idea. We have 2 minutes for this candle to close here. Very messy. Come on. Come on. Still drawdown there. What's the worst? Yeah, if price breaks down, I could, in theory, I could get out of the trade here. Close this here, and then close this here. Theoretically break even. Yeah, I could do that. In theory, I could do that. But yeah, do I want that? In that higher time frame resistance here. I love this track. Greetings from the Netherlands. Nice. Yeah, man. We're working so hard on the freaking playlist. I can't wait to share this on Spotify soon. It will be amazing. That will be really good. Let's see what the dollar is doing here. The dollar needs to push. That's what we want to see, right? The dollar pushing. Who is the better trader, you or your girlfriend? I think my girlfriend is really good. Yeah. I think we add on a lot of info. We actually help each other a lot. She's very intuitive. Very intuitively good with gold. And I'm definitely more analytical, I would say. More analytical from that perspective. So yeah, I think we feel each other out very, very well. Crazy. I just joined RE Shorts right now. Can you show the order flow? Yeah, it's actually very messy here, man. It is very messy here. But we're in a higher time frame zone, okay? It's not the best looking zone, I'm not gonna lie. The hourly is starting to flip bearish. Sellers are starting to come in here. The 15-minute is very mixed. A lot of sellers are trying to push down, but the problem with the 15-minute is that we can't break the 86. That's what I'm saying. If we can close below the 86, I think we're really gonna fly. And we're gonna try to push much harder here. So yeah, that's kind of the idea. I could get to the lows and then I could get out and I close my trade here in profit. And then I close this trade here in a loss and I will break even. But I see a bit more potential still, you know? So I'm like, you know what? I'll keep the risk open. I kind of keep the risk open right now and say, you know what? Let's just give it a shot, see what happens. If you have been enjoying the stream so far, right, and you like this free education, then smash up that like button. I would highly appreciate that, man. We're coming here live for you guys 5 days a week. I'm trading gold 5 days a week. doing the analysis, doing the breakdowns. If you guys have been out for a while, you know exactly what we have been doing in the past. What we are doing in terms of the analysis and everything. The system that we have, right? I highly would appreciate if you could do that, because this is the only way the channel can grow, right? And we have been growing really, really hard right now. And funny enough, when we're in drawdown, which happens sometimes as well, we actually grow bigger and faster. How funny is that? Why is that? Why is it that when I'm in drawdown, the channel grows even faster? You know what I mean? Okay, let's break this. So we are now 291, 300, and we are now there. We are at 180, right? So in theory, I could say I get out here and then, you know, actually be a profit. Yeah. Let's see. Dollar is still in that freaking support, man. It's just not pushing, but it's there, you know? I know it wants to, man. I know it wants to. This was just the accumulation. We saw the manipulation here, and now it wants to set up a push. And it came from the bottom right here. It's kind of that higher low formation here. I want to see the dollar pushing. That's what I want. I want to see the dollar pushing higher. You know what I mean? That's what I want to see here. That's what I want to see. A lot of patience needed here, man. That's for sure today. Damn. Okay, we're at the POC. So there's also another level. All right, now we're starting to go. Look at that, huh? What is oil doing? Okay, 108, 108, 108. What is oil doing here? Dollar is pushing. Oil is pushing. Look at that. That's what you want. You want to see oil pushing here. Okay? Oil needs to drop. Oil needs to come down. Now we want to see that reaction now. We want to see that follow through. But oil is pushing hard right now, sorry. That's actually what you want to see, by the way. You want to see oil pushing up. You know what I mean? That's what you want to see. Okay, entry was at 94.4, right? That's above that high. Okay, we closed its candle there. We closed below the 86, by the way, now. Actually closed lower even. We closed at the 81. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, gold is going. This is fucking amazing. This is actually amazing, right? Let's be honest, G's. Not gonna lie here. It's actually great. I can actually close that trade here. Minor. That's what I'm gonna do here. We actually were able to close this trade there. How beautiful is that? How beautiful is that? We were able to close this trade here. Okay. We were able to close this trade. 1 second, guys. Let me see. We were able to close this trade, and now we can put this trade on break even. Boom. All right. I can actually take some, because we are in that new zone right now. We are back at that zone right here, right? Patience, man. Low risk, patience. Don't be stressed. The chat goes crazy. Let me just do my thing. Let me be patient. Let me analyze the markets here. break even here, and then we are just in profit now on the other one. Okay. Just trust the process, my friend. Just trust the process. Right there. I'm gonna take some profits there. Market buy. Boom, took some profits. Done. And now we leave the rest running. Okay? Now we leave the rest running. We took some profits here, so we took a TP here. I know it's small today, whatever, right? But again, look at where we came from today. Look at how the trade started. And I know it wasn't the best entry here, but it's not just about how you enter. It's also how do you manage the trade, right? How do you deal with the bad times, which are unavoidable, okay? Sometimes these things happen, man. That's it. Okay, let's see what price does now, okay? All good. We're all good, man. Nothing to worry about right now, yeah? Okay. GG, guys. Back to work here. Dollar is holding up really well at support. That was also another layer. We already talked about this, right? The correlation check was already marked. That was already done, right? So we saw the dollar, we saw oil as well. We were overvalued, blah, blah. So it was all pretty straightforward. Now it's just about, okay, is there a chance that we can actually drop a little bit lower here? But we need to kind of observe this right now, see how this candle closes. Okay. Honestly, guys, I think this is worth a W in the chat. I usually don't ask for this, but it's not just about the profits, right? It's about just staying calm, cool, and collected, managing the trade here, knowing what to do here, right? I know the chat loves it. The chat loves drawdown. Some guys in the chat. The guys that are here, they know the deal, right? They learn, they observe, they know it. Let's see what happens here with this closure, though. 5 minutes. The 50 minutes as well. It's very important. But okay, we managed to see some buyers coming in again. So yeah, we're also in this higher time from hourly zone here, right? That red box. So we might find support here already. So I might have to close it actually and just get out completely. Yeah. Okay. Boom. 640. Decent, right? We can always look for a new entry again. And be a bit more patient this time. Wait for the right confirmations and stuff. And yeah, go from there, right? Close the trade. So when someone asks me the question about, yo, do you scale into your trades? Well, yes, sometimes I do, right? It depends on the situation. Not always, right? I would not give you a straight up answer like all the time I scale into the trade. No, sometimes I just leave my trade and I know. Right, a bad entry, better not to get in again. But because we were in higher time for resistance this time, right, on the gold chart, we were in that higher time for resistance here. Like, I was not really, you know, really worried about, like, you know, the situation in combination with the risk as well that I was taking. So I knew I just had to be very patient here and just manage it, you know, accordingly and just not be too freaking greedy. Okay. So yeah, scaling was definitely the right decision here. The scaling part was definitely the right choice. Right there. Okay? Cool. Insomnia says, W, I was in a sell and watch you in the trade. Made me so chill. That's amazing to hear, man. And now, you know, look at how we're pushing here. Right now at the moment. It would be crazy if this would fly now, by the way. That would be absolutely, that would be nuts. Because then we really closed it at the right moment as well here. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm not gonna lie, guys. This was not the cleanest trade today. Okay. We made profit. It was not the cleanest trade today. I was not 100,000% on my A game here. Okay? Not 100,000% on my A game here, but again, this is also great for you guys to see how I trade these things as well in these scenarios. Because it's still, yeah, it's the real shit. What else can I say here? It is the real shit here, okay? You all say you're not a fan of taking parts in 2R. Stop trading your strategy. This is a hybrid system specifically for gold here. The framework of LTA is always going to be the same. It's always going to be the same. So that doesn't change. Yeah. Was this an A+ setup? Not really. We knew it was a counter trend trade, right? We knew this in by default already. We kind of knew this. We kind of knew it would be a counter trend trade here. Yeah. Okay. All right. Worth to get into another trade. Let me observe here. See what's going on. Conclusion, we're gonna close the day green for sure. There is no chance I'm gonna lose money today. Abdul says, not only did I learn the strategy, but also the trade management and patience. It has completely shifted the way I think. W, amazing to hear that, my friend. Yes. Yeah, amazing to hear that. I'm happy that you're saying that, man. Because it is, it's also important to stay calm, cool, collected under situations as well. And even when we're wrong, I just accept defeat as well. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way, if your risk can allow it. But if you can manage the trade and you learn how to deal with these situations, then it's definitely worth it. That's why. This is the main reason why we talked about, for example, we had this higher time for resistance here. This is that box. We talked about this box, right? It's actually on the footprint chart, the daily right here. It's this exact zone right there. Okay? Well, let me show you this on the screen. Right there. On the chart and on the footprint right here. Okay? On the 4 hour, that is the exact zone. Right there. Right? So we knew we are in higher time for resistance here. Would I be taking a counter trend trade short if I would know that we didn't have that? I don't think so. I don't think I would have taken a short. Okay? I don't think I would have taken a short if I didn't know where the actual ceiling was. Does that make sense? If I knew where the ceiling was, yeah, I could think, okay, we're close to the ceiling. I'm willing to take a short. I just took it still too early. That's all. I still took it too early. So I'm happy that I managed it on break even there, and that I took the other actual trade later on the other one. Okay, regardless, but just higher, and that allowed us to just still make money, right? Roughly speaking, around what, 500, something like that. Nothing too crazy, but yeah, it's still the overall. You get the point. You get the idea, right? Okay. What's next, guys? What do you guys see right now in the markets? Let me know. I want to hear some feedback from you guys. What are you guys seeing right now? Let me know here. And again, if you guys like this overall format here, this is episode 22 of the live day trading stream here. Episode 22. Okay, already. We have been doing these streams now. I took a long break from streaming. I have done over 500 live streams on my channel, but I took a long break, a long serious break right here. Okay. And then I decided, you know, I'm going to continue with this format right now for the next months. I'm going to stream 5 days a week. I'm more committed than ever. I'm more disciplined than ever to do this properly. All right. This format, this trading system that we have been implementing right here has been absolutely killing it. I'm hundreds of messages from people, not joking, in my Instagram, asking about the strategy, the indicator, the tools, and everything needed here in order to just consistently do this. So I'm very grateful. This motivates me more and more to just keep sharing this. And, you know, people are asking about the VIP, the mentorship and stuff. Like I said before, I'm not going to create a course. I'm not going to do that anymore. Okay? It's not my style. I want to do things live, right? If I'm going to do something, I'm going to work with people either in person, which I want to do my passion later on. Would be something in the future. And this is something I'm working towards to over the next years, right? Real events, real in-person events. Talking with the people, seeing people, speaking to people, share my journey, bring people on board that have their journey, all successful, all verified people, right? And just make sure that you guys learn something here. But for now, the only thing I would do is just work with a very, very small group of people and actually teach them a specific system that is not complicated, that works, that makes money over time if you know how to deal with it. And your only experience will be how to deal with situations like these, right? What to do in drawdown, what to do when you're in drawdown, how much to risk, what tools to use, what to look at, what are your confluences, what is the process of it, right? How do you use the order flow? Why do we look at it this way, not the other way? Why do we look at multiple time frames? Why do we look at the dollar against gold? Why is this important, right? All these questions into a very specific system here. So if you are committed on the streams to show up every day and be here, then I think you will learn a lot, okay? Of course, I need to keep it service level on the streams because clearly, you know, there are a lot of new people coming, so I can't go too deep into all the elements. But I think you get the point. If you watch enough streams here over time, I really believe that you will get the point here as well here, okay? So yeah, regardless, I will share some really interesting stuff tomorrow as well for the people who are already committed, who already see what we do as well. And I think it will be very, very interesting. But for the new people, just keep showing up and see how we trade here, okay? Pretty much every day. So thank you for the likes. I really appreciate this. This really, really helps the channel grow, you know? It really, really helps the channel grow. So thank you for that. When is the next giveaway? Yeah, maybe soon. We'll keep you guys updated, right? Definitely. Okay, for now, you can see that there is still a lot of buying here, right? We will find resistance right now already. Okay, you can kind of see this right here in the hourly time frame as well. The thing right now is, this is the next step. Okay, I'm still going to give it a bit more time today. And the reason why is because we are in higher time frame resistance right now. So it's super interesting by default. At the same time, the hourly candle will close in around 9 minutes. Okay, I'm very curious to see where this hourly candle will actually close here. Okay. And the reason why I closed this trade here is actually, if you go down and you look at the hourly, look at how it tapped into that red box right there. Okay. How it came down in the 4767. And how that was the short-term bottom right now when it pulled back, right? That was the reason why I kind of closed my trade here. Right around there, right around this area. Roughly speaking, right? A bit higher when we saw the reaction from it. But yeah, that's the idea. Mana says, I actually took a lot of knowledge from just watching you over the last week. It's amazing watching your approach, your trades. Awesome, man. Thank you, man. What's your name, Modus? My G. New here. Tell a bit about when you will be live. 8 a.m. EST, my friend. 8 a.m. EST here. So tomorrow is the last stream. Tomorrow we have the CPI, by the way. Tomorrow we have the CPI. Can you believe that? So who actually took that second trade, by the way? I'm actually very curious because people just, you know, follow sometimes. But who took that second trade at the top here? And if you took the first trade, as well, then I hope you closed it as well with me. I'm sure some guys actually took it. I'm very confident here. All right, so this hourly candle closure is going to be so important right now. You can see how much selling activity there is right now here. Gabe says, been here every day for 2 weeks. Thanks for all the knowledge. I took the trade at 4470. Okay. All right, lucky that you got out there. That's good. Took the second trade, stop loss and break even. Okay. Cool, man. Yeah, the thing is, right? Like, you have to understand that the New York session has been really choppy, right? Lately. If you really want to learn about this system right here, for example, this in Asia is just, if we have the conditions of the Asian session right now in New York, bro, you will see the difference. It will be remarkable. But New York will come back at some point to its old days, to its beautiful old days. You will see how good it's going to be here. But yeah, I do trade all the sessions pretty much. I trade the Asia session too. So I wake up in the morning, I look at the market, trade the Asia session. Then I take a break. I observe London. Usually I'm not really trading London unless it's right before New York, maybe an hour before New York. And yeah, then the New York session. But London I kind of observe usually. Very low volume, pretty boring. But it gives us good information for later. Yeah, so this seems to be more, in my opinion, right now in the 5-minute time frame, guys, that the hourly candle is actually supported really well. We tapped into this box where sellers got trapped. You can actually see how this candle closed, right? So this was a perfect example of how sellers stepped in, okay? How put into that zone and then it flipped, right? That's what I'm saying. We were pretty rushed. I was pretty rushed as well here. Not gonna lie. But then the next candle came up. And now we have a lot of sellers. Very negative delta. Okay, you can see this below. Minus 600 means that there's a very large amount of sellers here. But the candle is not really breaking down. You see that? So it actually shows us right now that it's not the right time to look for a new sell here. There it was okay when we were looking for that new sell. But now we can actually see the candle on the hourly time frame is kind of neutral with a lot more sellers than buyers, right? In an uptrend, which shows there are still buyers active. There are still buyers participating. So when there is a lot of market sellers in the market, then that means there are also a lot of limited buyers in the market, right? And this is what develops supply and demand. So in this case, you can see there's a lot of selling, but the candle is actually flipping green right now. You see what I mean? Look at that. We close this hourly candle in 4 minutes, okay? So this would be a confirmation for me not to sell right now, at all, okay? Not to sell at all. Now is the moment to stay out here. So the fact that we were still able to short it, to manage the trade and still to make money, and now seeing the confirmation that it's not the right time to sell now, I think is a great way to kind of understand where we're at this current moment, because there is more selling than buying, but the candle is closing green. That pretty much shows us right now at the moment that that sellers are just kind of getting trapped again. Okay, and the follow through is there. So if people are holding on to the trades here, it's getting more and more tricky now to hold on to your shorts, right? Yeah. Lorenzo, bro, have you designed any course? No course. No course. I'm gonna work with 15 people max, and I'm gonna be there live with them for a multiple amount of weeks if I want to do something. It's the only thing I would do. I could make so much money selling a course. you know, doing the guru stuff, selling a course. But yeah, it's just I like the interaction live. I think that's the best way of teaching someone. I don't personally think that a course will teach you how to trade. That's my personal opinion. You have too many questions. You never know how to deal with the real situations. It's usually discretionary. It's not fully mechanical. There is discretion to it. You need to see someone do it in front of you, or leading you through it. And I don't think a course can do that personally. So I don't stand behind the course selling. Yeah. Making a video and that's it. Nah. It's good to have video material, right? That's different. But the video material itself is not enough in my opinion. If you are poor, can you trade? Yeah, of course, bro. It's skills pay the bills. Skills pay the bills, my friend. Skills pay the bills. Just understand that. It's about the skills, all right? Build the skill set and the money will follow. Build the skill set and the money will follow. A lot of people want the money, but they don't want to put in the work to get there. They don't want to invest in themselves to get there. Invest their time and effort, their blood, sweat, and tears every day, struggling, figuring it out all alone, or finding a shortcut and work with someone who's already profitable, that actually cares about you. But a lot of people are so obsessed with the money, and that actually kills them. That kills their trading. But you have proppers, right? So it's always a good way to start as well. Are you on a challenge on Top Step? No. This is already an XFA funded account. You can get a payout here. But I haven't been, to be honest, like I said before, I haven't been trading on this account for a long time. Months, actually. It's crazy. I just have been trading, on TradingView. And not on Top Step. Which is actually super crazy, actually, now thinking about it. But yeah. I still had these accounts. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick it up again. Why not? Okay, so the hourly candle is closed bullish, okay? So this is kind of a situation right now where I would not feel comfortable selling here. I know we're at a higher time frame resistance. But now that I can see that on the hourly, there are still buyers and there is still an absorption here. I don't really feel confident to say, okay, I'm willing to short it now, all right? At the moment here. It could drop again. For sure, it could drop back down to the 79s, right? It could make a move down. But it could also just stay in that, in that range here. We come up, we come down, and we come up, and we stay in this, potential maybe bull flag or, we'll just stay in a range or whatever. We haven't broken the structure yet either, right? So I can see right now that there is no need to buy, because we're in higher time for resistance, but we cannot really sell either because buyers are still active. Does that make sense? So we're kind of in a middle zone right now at the moment, right? We're kind of in the middle. We're not seeing the buyers being active. We're not seeing the sellers being in control here. It's just we are in higher time frame resistance right now. Why are we in higher time frame resistance? This zone is super important right here on the 4-hour and on the daily time frame. This is the yesterday's candle right here. Super important range, super important resistance right now. We marked out this box, okay, which is a super important higher time frame zone. On gold, it's also a 4-hour demand supply zone right here. Okay, it's also a 4-hour supply zone right here as well. So we're in that higher time frame resistance, but sellers are not willing here. I hope that makes sense. So we're kind of in the middle of nowhere. Okay, we're seeing that the higher time frame resistance is there, but at the same time, buyers are willing to step in. So what I think could happen is that we stay in that range here a little bit. And maybe later we'll get to a conclusion, pretty much. But right now, at the moment, I can definitely see, okay. I don't see a trading opportunity for now, pretty much. If I would think about a new entry, let's say, right? So I'm not willing to put my money on the risk on the table right now to say, okay, this is what's gonna happen, pretty much. Yeah. Lorenzo, action charts for spot work. No, this is futures, but you can still use this on futures, right? And trade spot. I do this all the time because the candles are identical. The candles are the same. So you can use this and then still trade your Xau Usd broker, right? CFD broker. Super easy. Yeah. All right, 3-hour stream already. Wow. Okay. So what I'm gonna do, guys, right now. What do you guys think I should do? What do you guys think I should do? What I personally believe right now, okay? I'll give you my opinion. I think we made money today in a pretty nasty initial trade. We ended today in green. We managed the trade. We rocked the trade. We came out on top here. Right now, looking at the chart, I don't see a new opportunity that really talks to me like, yeah, you need to take this setup right now, right? You can see it on the order flow. It's really messy here. The last 3 hourly candles, they're very indecisive. We are in higher time for resistance right now. So we might drop and then pull back again. But I'm not personally confident. I'm not seeing the trade that I need to see for me to say I'm taking action right now on this trade. Okay? So personally, I think it's best to just leave it, take the money, come back tomorrow, wait for the CPI tomorrow, see what the CPI does, right? Maybe trade Asia, and then boom. After the CPI, get back to work and then close the week strong. I think that is the best way to do this. And, you know, I've been profitable the whole week. Every day has been a winning day for me. So I don't see a reason to ruin it and just to leave it right now, right? And then come back tomorrow, take my profits, and then come back. Okay? I think that makes a lot of sense here. Cool? All right, let me help you at least with the overall understanding here. Let's go to the higher time frame one more time here. So we have at least a full breakdown of where we are. Okay? And what we actually are looking at this current moment here, because it is it's very interesting actually. If you really look at the higher time frame, the lower time frame, there are for both sides there are reasons. Right? It's very indecisive actually. You can actually see this right here. You can actually see that we are in that higher time support. We have been reactive from that support. And actually on the 4 hour, it was very, very clear that when we were there, right? That we actually tapped into this support right there and are actually respecting it very, very well, right? We know how important this level is. Look at the reaction here. Look at this reaction here. Look at this reaction here. So overall, there is definitely some support, and at the same time, right, the intraday is still bullish, right? So we're still trending upwards. However, right now, after that announcement from Trump, where we saw the juice drop, we are actually looking at yesterday's candle, and you can see that yesterday we had a lot of sellers active here. Okay. A lot of sellers stepped in here, all right? So we have higher time frame resistance here. Why? Because the candle closed bearish and the sellers on the daily time frame, this is gold on the daily time frame. These are all the orders executed, okay? These are 182,000 contracts executed yesterday on the futures market on gold, okay? And you can see that we close below this, and what happens? Price pushes into the red box, right? The area where a lot of sellers came in. And this is why we're finding that resistance here at this moment right there, okay? That is why actually I wanted to short it. That was actually the whole thought process of entering the short initially. I just was a bit too early. But that is the overall idea, right? So even though the intraday trend is bullish, right? And we bounced from support right here. We found also that resistance right around there, okay? And that resistance is actually sitting right around there, okay? So I'm just gonna use support and resistance right now, but it's also a supply zone, okay? On the 4 hour right here, okay? It's also a supply zone on the 4 hour right there. So this is where I say, okay, we are now in support, but we're also in that resistance here, okay? I hope that makes sense for you guys. Let me know if you guys can follow this right now from an order flow standpoint, okay? I'm gonna go over this a lot more in the next coming days, weeks, months ahead of us, right? I'm not gonna be able to give you all the insights, but from a, basic foundation, I think you will really understand this over time when you look at this. It's really gonna help us with our bias, our session bias, okay? Knowing where to short, where to long, why, for what reason. We can actually see that this is the level of resistance right now that we're facing right here, okay? And this is why gold is struggling here. You can see on the order flow, there's a lot of sellers that came in yesterday. For that reason, it's very important that we need to pay attention to this level because we could easily lose its momentum here and pull back, okay? And pull back. It's possible. It is also possible that we break out, but if we break out and we break back above these highs here, okay? We break back above this area, then things get really interesting. Because if we manage to break above this, okay, and then this becomes support, right? And then we can turn it into continuation plays. That would really be bullish for gold, right? So that would be something like this, a strong continuation to the upside for gold here, following the trend. But right now is, in my opinion, not the best moment to buy gold here because we're in that resistance right there. And there are a lot of sellers active in the market. And you can already see that the moment we tapped into that candle on the 4 hour, a lot of sellers are trying now the 4 hour time frame and the 1 hour time frame to enter the market here, okay? Type in a 1 if you guys are aware, if you guys are seeing what I'm trying to tell you guys here, as of why this is such an important level right now to pay attention to. Let me know in the chat, okay? I'm gonna look at it in a second here, but this is super key for you to understand that longing here right now is tricky, even though we are in that intraday trend here, okay? We are in that intraday uptrend, okay? And that's why it's so important. You can also just mark out simple support and resistance, but it's always great with order flow to see actually what is happening here, okay? What is actually happening behind the scenes here. So let's take this now in consideration. Let's go to the 50-minute time frame here, okay? And be aware of some of our tools that we utilize. Now, with the LTA Concepts war map, right? And our gold hybrid trading system that we have, we look at something called the valuation and the volume profile, right? Which is kind of is our support and resistance on the lower time frame, the 50-minute time frame here, okay? So what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna mark out my levels. And there are a couple of ways I could just actually draw my levels and mark out my levels, okay? And one of the levels is actually gonna be the range here, okay? This is a range because we have a balanced session here. We mark out the range. We had a range here, right? This is also a balanced session. We found our support here. We'll find our resistance there, okay? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the fixed volume profile, which you can use right here. You can learn about this. You can download my book for free. This is the exact expansion that we saw today. Consolidation expansion retraced with continuation, right? Page number 47. You can get this book for free. I will attach the ebook in the chat right now. Download this book. Super easy. You get it in like 5 minutes in your email. And then you have the full book that I created for you guys here. It's a 300-page book, but the important section is section 1. It's the volume analysis here. This is very important for the gold hybrid trading system in this part of our journey right there, okay? So there's also a tool, but I will keep showing this to you guys on the stream. But for now, if you use the fixed volume profile here, you can actually see that we have the value high, okay? And that level right here is also where we bounced from. It's also a reaction that we saw right around there. So if you go to gold spot, we can do exactly the same thing here, okay? We can use the range right there, okay? We can look at the very high. We can also use this range and we can trade either short in a pullback, okay? or we can look for the long. Now, we clearly already bounced here. We clearly already had that support here. But right now, at the moment, if you go back here to the futures chart, okay? The most important thing is, in my opinion, if we manage to break back above and we pull back, I think there's a really large chance that we could simply look for the continuation towards the upside, okay? I really think that this makes a lot of sense because we will break major resistance right there, okay? There is a reason why we found that support there, okay? Actually, if you go back to the order flow, you can actually see this very clearly, that also that order flow, we had our trapped sellers, right? And we tapped into that support here. This is why we bought there a bit lower. But this is the overall idea here. If price breaks down right now and it starts to struggle here, yeah, you could take a short, but I think now at the moment, we don't really see the confirmation yet, okay, for shorts. So I'm actually just willing to just see what happens, be patient, and go from there, okay? So the intraday trend is bullish right now at the moment. The dollar itself is holding up actually really well, but gold is holding up pretty strong. So I think there is actually a chance that we might break out and continue to go higher, okay? Now, if price continues to sell off and it breaks below that resistance here, and it starts to really struggle, right, there is a chance that we will simply continue to drop down lower and price will continue to drop here, okay? But in order to really get that confirmation, it is better to short as high as possible to get and be able to trade and actually manage your position pretty much, okay? Now, what is the exact thing that we're gonna look for tomorrow? Because this is the big question I think you guys actually have right now. How do we deal with tomorrow's session? Well, the most important thing that I will be looking at is where do we close, and this is so important, guys. Where do we close today's daily candle, okay? Because if this daily candle closes below this range, okay, and I'm gonna just mark it out here. If the daily candle closes below the 4710 and the 4810, okay? So in between this zone right here, just gonna mark it out here. And in between this zone right here, then there is a big chance that tomorrow, during the Asian session, will remain in this range, okay? And then tomorrow morning, when the Asian session actually opens up here, or afternoon, or evening where you're from, that this will actually be the resistance right here, okay? And it will be really hard to break that resistance right there, okay? Now, if price closes above it, different story. I think we could look for that continuation to the upside, okay? But it's all about the daily closure right now. The daily closure is going to help tremendously, giving us an indication. And from that moment onwards, I think we have a much better understanding of what will happen with gold here, okay? So again, major resistance at 4806, right there, okay? Major support at 4755, okay? Futures, 4755, 4806 on resistance here. So support, 4755, sorry. Resistance, 4805, okay? On gold spot, that will be, I'm just gonna calculate this for you guys right now, 4773 and 480. So 25 points, let's say, right? So that would mean 4806 minus 25, right? So 4781, right? 4781 right here. And then right here, we have the 4755 minus 25 points, so 4730, okay? That's your support area. All right, so pay close attention to where we close today's candle. It will be absolutely crucial to see where this happens here. And if this candle on the 4-hour closes very strong, so in 40 minutes, we close above the 4795, which is the 4770 on spot, the CFD, we will also most likely try to really push into that resistance deeper and deeper. So this is why right now, I don't see a short yet, but I think the daily candle closure will be absolutely detrimental for us to understand where we are and if it's better to short or better to long. And I think truly that tomorrow around the CPI and after the CPI, we get a lot of clarity around what gold wants to do next, okay? I really believe that will be something to really think about here. All right, guys. So overall, W stream, trade management, I would say. I think we managed the trade good enough. Okay? The end was not the best at the first one, but the management was great. So we ended the day in green. And yeah, please like this channel if you really like the stream so far. If you like me as a person, if you don't like me, then don't like it. Okay? If you think that I'm an asshole, if you think that this Dutch Italian guy is just yapping his whole way through the stream, then don't like it. If you like it, smash up that freaking like button. Okay? It helps the channel grow a lot. And I'm going to be here for you anyways, regardless. I'm going to be here for the people who are committed. I'm going to be here for the people who are willing to show up every day. And tomorrow, pay very close attention to the email, because I will come with an offer for a very limited amount of people. Okay? That will be tomorrow. An offer for a very limited amount of group of people here, which I am personally going to do something with. Something very, very, very special with. All the tools, all the indicators, everything. But yeah, we'll talk about it later. Not important for now. Now it's important that you need to chill out, listen to some music, and we end the stream in green. Okay? That's the way to do it, my friend. That's the way to do it. Yeah? Perfect. Where's that sound, man? I love that sound. Let's end the day. You guys are the best. Appreciate it, G's. This is exactly why we did it short here. Yes, yes. Cheers. Let's go loco. Thank you guys. Much love. See you tomorrow, yeah? 8 a.m. EST. Have a good night, man. Have a good rest of your day. And I wish you all the best. All right? I wish you happy trading, happy life, happy family. See you tomorrow.